Hare Krishna. So welcome to the Govinda class. So anyone remembers, before we start with the prayers, anyone remembers what you learned in your previous class? What did Sita Preethi Mataji teach you yesterday? Anyone can tell me a gist of what you learned?
Mataji, we had learned the verse Savai Pumsam Parodharma,
Yeah. And then?
and we had talked about the debate topic.
Very good, very good. Yes, you talked about the debate topic. Before you got into the debate topic, what did you learn from Srimad Bhagavatam? Anyone would like to volunteer to tell? Is there something you learned in the Bhagavatam? Okay. Suraj, would you like to tell? What did you learn yesterday? Do you remember anything?
Um, right now I don't. Maybe if we start, I'll remember.
No?
Maybe if we start, I'll remember again.
Sure. So as we start, you will remember. Definitely, yes. How about Tulsi Manjari? She's raising her hand. So,
Mataji?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. We learned about how the Yadavas were destroyed. How Samba, and who was Krishna's son, was he played a trick on the sages, and the sages said he would produce an iron club that would like destroy the race, and that's how Krishna wanted to send them back to their abode to get ready for his departure.
Fantastic. Very nicely put together. Excellent. Good listening. Okay, so this is all described in Canto 3, Chapter 4. So we're going to see more about it. Okay, but before that, we're going to start with the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitanamne Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesh Shunyavadi Paschat
Satyadeshatarini Jai Shri Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasati Gaura Bhaktivinda
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Wonderful. So I believe you all have already learned this verse. Does anyone want to train the verse to pronounce the words? Anyone on the call would like to get trained?
I think this is Mukund.
Yeah. So Mukund and Krishna Nayana. So both of you, Samskriti, do you already know to chant the verse, or you're here going to chant it for the first time?
We already know Mataji. We already know Master.
Excellent.
Mataji, I learned it before in another Bhakti Sangha class.
Okay, so let's go in order. So I have Mukund, after that Krishna Nayana, after that Samskriti, and then Tulsi Manjari, and I think that was who was it? Adi? Advait, right? Okay. So Mukund, you can recite.
Savai Pumsam Parodharma Bhakti Radha Atmasu Prasidati. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Mukund. Mukund, what is the meaning of Adhokshaja? Can you please tell me?
Lord Krishna, who, yeah, it's the name of Lord Krishna.
Excellent. Very, very nice. Can anyone unmute and tell me specifically what Adhokshaja means? It's the name of Lord Krishna, but anyone has insight? Yes, Krishna Nayana.
Unto the transcendence.
Transcendence, very nice, Krishna Nayana. Anyone else with more details?
Infallible.
What's that?
Infallible.
Infallible, okay. And then?
It's like offering something to Krishna, like glorifying Krishna basically.
Offering something to Krishna. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, nice answers, and I appreciate everyone's attempts. That was really good. So, Adho,
Say one more.
ah,
Adho means fall, and then Kshaje means never. So it's like never fall down.
so you know what? We are close. Actually, Adhokshaja means one who cannot be perceived by the blunt senses. So he's transcendental, meaning whatever you said, he doesn't fall or he doesn't come down in terms of being mundane or material. So he is the one who is beyond the perception of the blunt senses. So just like sometimes people challenge, I want to see God face to face. But can you really, if God, even if God comes and stands in front of you, do you think you're capable to even see him with your blunt eyes, right? Unless God opens your spiritual eyes, you really cannot see him face to face. So he is beyond the material senses. That is the meaning of Ashoksheta. So all of you are right.
Mataji,
Yeah,
I don't know if it's just me, but your voice is really fuzzy.
it's fuzzy. Okay.
Like it's like I can hear you.
Uh-huh.
It's really low and it's like like that.
Oh,
Low, but yeah, it is pretty unclear.
unclear.
Yes, Mataji.
And my tablet volume is also at full too.
Yeah, it's so low.
Okay. So is this better?
This is volume 100, and and I'm testing my speaker.
Is this better though? Now is it
A
better?
little better.
A little better.
A little, but not fully.
Yeah.
Okay. How about this one? Is it better?
Yes.
It's still a little bit.
Still a little bit. Okay.
But like now it's like we can understand, but it's really low.
Low.
No, it's your problem because it's not for me. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, because for me my computer's at 100%. I mean 100 like sound.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe your speaker is like loud.
Yeah. So next we'll have Krishna Naina chant. Go ahead, Krishna Naina.
Okay, Mataji. Savai pumsam paro dharma yato bhakti adokshage ahait kirti apahita yayatma suprasidati. Thank you, Mataji. Krishna.
So Krishna Nayana, what is Atma?
The self.
Atma.
Mataji, she already said it. She said the self.
You said the self. Okay. Thank you so much. I didn't hear that. Thank you, Krishna Nayana. Samskriti, you want to go next to chant?
Yes, Mataji. Savai pumsham paro dharma yakto bhaktir adokshaje ahaituki aparatahata yayatma suprasidati.
Very good. So what is bhakti? Samskriti?
Devotional.
Yeah, devotional service.
Yes,
Very
I guess.
good. Tulsi Manjari, you want to chant?
Yes, Mataji. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktiradokshije ahaitukiya pratihata yatma suprasidati.
Very good. Tulsi Manjari, what is pumsam?
For mankind.
Excellent. Very good. Next, Suraj, can you chant?
Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti dokshiji Haituki Hata Ayayatma Suprasidati.
Very nice. Thank you, Suraj. Suraj, what is ahaituki?
Haituki. Um,
You can see.
causeless or
Yes, correct, correct. Very good. So, hetu means a cause, ahaituki means without a causeless. Very good. Advait, can you see?
Mati, did you call my name?
Yes.
Okay. Savai pumsam parodamo yato bhakti adokshaje ahaituki apati hata yatma suprasidati.
What is suprasidati?
Completely satisfied, Mataji.
Very good. Okay, now I'm going to give Balavranda a tough job. Balavranda, can you read the translation?
Yes, Mataji, the supreme occupation dharma for all humanity is that by which men can attack to loving devotion service onto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to complete that satisfy the self.
Very good, Balavranda.
Balavinda, you did the hardest job.
Awesome, Balavranda. What is supreme occupation in Sanskrit, Balavranda?
Supreme. I think it's supreme.
Translation, right? Okay, listen, I'll give you a hint. You read the translation, right? The supreme occupation, and there is something in the bracket, right? So the bracket. Ah, correct. You're right. Very good. Good job, Balavranda. Very proud of you. Good. Okay. So now we'll have only one verse. I thought you have two verses. Okay, only one verse. Then everyone can take a chance. Who's the next one? ISKCON Baltimore. Who's that?
Mati, that's Kavya. This is me, Kavya.
Kavya. Side.
Should I recite the verse, Mataji? Okay. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adoksaje ahai to ke apratihata jayatma suprasidati. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Good job, Kavya. Kavya, let me ask you something. What is para?
I don't really join Sanskrit classes, Mataji.
Okay, that's okay. You can read from the screen. What does the word to word meaning say?
What is it? Sublime.
Topmost. Okay. Okay, very good. Okay, you don't have to know Sanskrit. Just get familiar with the word so that you remember the meaning. Okay, that is the idea.
Okay, Mataji.
The Dhruva, you want to recite the verse?
Yes, okay. Savai pumsam paro dharma yato bhakti adoksaje ahatuki apratihata yayatma suprasidati.
Very good. Dhruva, what did you understand from this verse? What is the meaning of this verse? Do you want to tell it in your own words?
It means like how the devotional service of Krishna and how like how they like, I don't know how to say it, like,
You can tell whatever comes to your mouth, you can tell. Nothing is wrong. You can go ahead. Tell. The devotional service unto Krishna is what?
is like how people can understand like
Mm.
how devotional like service of Lord is like
Mm.
motivative or uninterrupted.
Very good, very good. So devotional service that is performed should be unmotivated and uninterrupted. Excellent. Very nice. A nice explanation, Dhruva. Sri Tulasi, you want to read the verse?
Savai sambaro dharma yato bhakti yato se ahai tokiya pratihataya nasa prasitati.
Very good, Sri Tulasi. What did you understand from this verse? Can you explain in your own words?
I understood that if you want to have a strong faith in Krishna, that you have to have devotional service that is unmotivated and uninterrupted.
Mm. And what is the final thing here?
And to satisfy the self.
Completely satisfies the self.
So,
So,
can I say the meaning in my own words?
yes, Mukund, I also have an important question for you as soon as you say the meaning. Yeah, go ahead. Tell the
This, the dharma for mankind, Savai Pumsam Paradharma, is to serve Lord Krishna, who is Adhokshaja, Yato Bhakti Radhokshaja. And they have to do it unmotivated, uninterrupted, Ahatakiya Pratihata, and they will get their Atma will be, their soul will be ultimately satisfied. Yayatma Suprasidati.
fantastic, excellent. That's the way you split up and you answer the question. Very, very nice. Excellent, Mukund. But I did have a question for you. What is the meaning? I mean, tell it in your own words. I know it's a high level. Ah, who was that? Someone wanted to say something? Shri?
Prahlad.
Raya Prahalad, yes, but do you want to recite the verse?
Yes, Mataji.
Go ahead, you can recite the verse.
Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adokshaje ahayukta aprahitihata yayatma suprasidati. Thank you, Mataji.
Very sweet. Thank you, Raya Prahalad. Raya Prahalad, what do we mean by unmotivated? What is that word? What does that mean?
Motivated means to not have any motivation or interest to do some subject.
Ah, excellent. Very, very nice. So without any external motivations, you will focus on devotional service. Good job. The next one is Shriyan. Shriyan, recite the verse.
Mataji. Savai pumsam paro dharma yato bhaktir adokshaje aitukya apratihata yatma suprasidati.
Very good. What is the meaning of uninterrupted? You can tell it in
Uninterrupted basically means without an interruption or like, but that doesn't mean like when you're chanting, it doesn't mean like somebody comes and does it. If somebody comes and does it, it's okay, they don't know, but we should know that we should not do it. Like if somebody interrupts and says, here you go with the food or something, we should not be respond. We should just like, okay, with our thumb should just say okay and then start chanting again. So like that's called uninterrupted. Also, uninterrupted also means like if you're doing kirtan, you're not supposed like, and then look, for example, my dad, he always plays mridanga. So like I have a baby brother, and then he comes with always to my dad and is like this. He knows how to say that word. So my dad is like okay, and then he puts him in the mridanga. So that's what means like uninterrupted. He should not be interrupted by a baby doing that. He should just be like, okay.
very nice. Practical example. Excellent. Very, very good. Excellent job. Okay, so quick revision of what we have done so far in our Bhagavatam session. I think in the beginning of the class, I did ask you what you learned yesterday, and you did say that you heard the story about Krishna's departure. I mean, not even Krishna's departure, the departure of the Yadavas. So you told me that the Samba was dressed up like a pregnant woman, and then Samba received a curse. And finally, what happened? The Yadavas, they started fighting with each other because they were intoxicated, right? So intoxication means you take something that is not good for you, and you lose your senses and you get affected by it, and you lose your mind and you start doing wrong things, right? So that's the reason we engage in drinking or intoxication. Yes.
So drink like wine and alcohol are basically drugs but liquid form, right?
Yes, that is correct. Very well said. Yes. So,
But Mataji, what did he say? He said liquid and alcohol are, I mean, alcohol is basically something, what's that?
he said it's like a bomb. Is that what he said? Yeah.
I said wine.
Yeah, wine. It's basically for your destruction, right? So just like how bamboos, this was the analogy given by Sita Preethi Mataji, and Srimad Bhagavatam as well talks about this analogy, that when, how many of you know how forest fires are created? What happens?
Mataji, it is when like somebody or an animal or some cause makes two sticks wrapped together. There's two causes. Number one is the first, it's wrapped together and then it creates a small fire, and then slowly creates a huge one. And the second one, if somebody's camping in the forest and light a fire, it can also grow up.
Excellent, good job. So the first scenario you spoke about was when two sticks come together and rub, right? So what happens when two sticks come together and rub? What happens at that time? What is initiated? What is the fire? Yes. So fire comes from what? Because of friction, what is happening? See, I have two sticks and I keep rubbing. Right? There is, what is developed? Heat. Fire. Okay. So because of the heat that is generated, a fire sparks and then you have a fire. Otherwise, as Shriyan said, sometimes there is someone who lights a spark of fire and everything catches fire, right? So what happens is that because these two bamboo sticks, they have that inherent latent potency to cause fire because of friction. Similarly, when you start taking intoxication, because of the latent fault of intoxication, our mind becomes unbalanced and destruction can take place. So it's interesting. So it has a fault inherent in it. So when you take intoxication, you are bound to get destroyed. Okay. So after we saw that, after the Yadavas, ended up destroying each other, Vidura, he was asked to proceed to Badrikashram, right, in the Himalayas. So Krishna asked Vidura to proceed to the Badrikashram. Did you hear all of this last class? Yes, no?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, so this is now, we are going to start today's program. Okay, so now we heard that the Yadavas, all the relatives, they came to Prabhas Kshetra. They started fighting with each other, and because of the fight, all of them got destroyed. But there was one person who did not engage in this war. Who was that? That was Vidura, right? That's why Vidura was asked to actually go home. I mean, not go home, go to Badrikashram, because he was remaining. So Krishna tells Uddhava that you can actually go towards Badrikashram. So why did he choose Uddhava? So that is the question. Why do you think, he chose specifically Uddhava not to get involved in this war and proceed to Badrikashram? Anyone wants to tell? Why do you think?
Mataji, because Uddhava is a dear friend.
Very good.
Mataji, I think because
He's very dear to Krishna.
No, Mataji, I think I have a really good one. I think because there's a task only people who are like not a Kshatriya, but somebody who's not a Kshatriya, like only Uddhava can accomplish, and that's a task that only Uddhava can accomplish, and Krishna wants only him to accomplish. Like,
very good, Shreyan. Yes. So the answers are all correct. You said one person said Uddhava is a dear friend. The other said this task can be accomplished only by Uddhava. And then what else did I hear? There's something else you said.
Can everyone please put their hands down? Everyone's hand is raised.
Everyone's hand is raised, yes. So, okay, you want me to put it down? Because I think this was from the recital.
Yeah, because it only shows 6 in the thing, like on the screen at once. So it was separating my video and your video. So I couldn't see Mataji and myself in the same spot.
Okay, anyway, so tell me, what else could be the reason? Uddhava was a dear friend. There are certain tasks you can only give Uddhava. Anything else? He was looking like Krishna, someone said. He was very close to Krishna. He looked very similar to Krishna. Very nice. So all these are correct answers. So Uddhava.
Mataji,
Mataji, can I say one?
yeah, Mataji, you just said Vidura right now.
Oh, sorry, Uddhava. I'm
Mataji,
sorry.
can I say one?
Evening.
Yes.
I think it's to be show like I don't know if this is true, but Uddhava was like proud that he was like the friend of Krishna, and he thought he had the most love for him. But when he went to the Vrindavan and he saw the gopis' love, he got totally defeated.
Very nice. Good. So Uddhava is definitely a very special person. And Uddhava, it is described that since he was very close to the Lord, he was a close friend, he was a close associate. Here it is described that he was situated in Shuddha Sattva and pure goodness. Okay, he was situated in pure goodness and he was as good as the Lord in his qualities. So the Lord chose his very, very dear friend who can understand him and who's capable of carrying the message. Okay, capable of actually carrying the message. Krishna had a private message. Okay, so Krishna had a private message, and Uddhava was the only one who was able to carry that message and go where? Where did he have to take the message to?
Badrikashram.
Very good. Why did he have to go to Badrikashram? What's so special in Badrikashram?
There are none Narayan rishis over there.
And who else? Narnarayan Rishi. Oh, yes, they are very, very famous. Yes, they are there.
Because Vidura went. Mataji, because Vidura went.
Because he's also going to meet Vidura. Yes, he had to do some knowledge transaction with Vidura. Very good, Balavrinda.
Mataji, I think because he needed to go there because when Uddhava, I recall this incident right now. So when Uddhava went to Vrindavan, he desired just to be a speck in the forest, a speck of grass in the forest, so that gopis would just step on him every day. And I think that's why Krishna sent him, because then if he goes to Badrikashram, he can actually share his knowledge to Vidura, and that's as good as getting more knowledge, because even Vidura has a knowledge. It doesn't mean he doesn't, because he's Yama himself. So Dharmaraj himself, so he has a lot of knowledge. So even he will share to Uddhava. So when both of them discuss, both of them will get a lot of knowledge. So it's both the same thing as Gopi stepping on Uddhava's head.
Excellent. Very, very good. So there is a good knowledge transfer.
Mataji,
Benefited. Very nice. Yes.
can you explain the one Shriyan said? I didn't like
So Shreya
understand.
was telling when he is talking to Vidura, there is a lot of knowledge transfer, and in knowledge transfer, both parties are benefited, right? The more you share knowledge to others, the more we learn better. Like if you're asked to give a class, you're asked to make a presentation.
I said that like Uddhava, when he went to Vrindavan, after he was done with conversing, he thought to be a speck in speck, so that the gopis would step on him every day, and Krishna fulfilled that by letting him discuss with Vidura, because if both of them get a lot of knowledge about Krishna and devotion, it's the same thing.
Good. Oh, like that. Okay, because Vidura has had the opportunity to meet the gopis and he has come to a realization that he's very insignificant, and when Uddhava and Vidura discuss, Uddhava can understand that. Very nice. Okay, great analysis, all of you. Very good. So now let's see. Yeah. Okay. So he
I
was.
didn't say thank you, Shreyan.
Shreyan, very good. So when he was asked to go to Badrikashram, why was he asked to go to Badrikashram? Because he had to actually carry a confidential message to Naranarayan Rishi, and not only Naranarayan Rishi, as you already mentioned, also to the other sages who were present there. And generally, in a place where deities are present, because in Badrikashram, Naranarayan Rishi is present, Badri temple is also there, right? So it is always good for a devotee to be under the protection of a temple community. Okay. So that is how Prabhupada describes it. He says, Krishna told him that he had to carry the confidential message. So there was one selected person to carry the message of Krishna and go and disseminate or give it to whom? To the sages in Badrikashram and also Naranarayan Rishi. And he was also thinking, Krishna was also thinking that this Uddhava is my dear devotee. So it's not good if I just send him to some city like Houston or Atlanta or Philadelphia. No, that is not what he, Detroit or any of these places. He wanted him to go to a safe place where there is a nice temple in Badrikashram so that Uddhava could also be nourished. His devotional service could also be nourished. So it's 2 in 1. Uddhava is taking a message. He's going to give knowledge to the sages and Naranarayan Rishi. At the same time, Uddhava's devotion will also get nourished. So 2 in.
Now, anywhere if Uddhava goes, there'll still be devotees.
Correct. Wherever Uddhava goes, there will still be many, many devotees because Uddhava is carrying the message of the Lord. He's going to make multiple devotees, and his devotion will also not fall down because he'll be under the protection of the temple.
Mataji, I said now, like if Uddhava comes now and goes anywhere, there will be devotees everywhere because there's temples everywhere.
Correct. You're right. That's a good one. Yeah. Okay. So what do you think was the specific message that Uddhava had to carry? Of course, Uddhava had all the knowledge given to him by Krishna about everything that exists, because Uddhava Gita in the 11th canto is a detailed description of what is the knowledge that Uddhava received. But there was one important message that Uddhava had to carry. What do you think?
Mataji, was that telling to Vidura something that all the Yadavas are gone and Krishna is also going to leave, or telling to Narayan Rishi, or is it to like go to the temple near, like if there is near Badrikashram, like he would he have to go there and tell each devotee and first of all go to the deity and like offer his obeisances and like stuff.
Mataji,
Can
I say something?
Go ahead.
For what Shreyan said, I agree with the so 2 things. The first one, Shreyan said, I actually agree with that. I was also thinking the same thing. Number 2 is the question is, I don't know exactly, was the letter for Naranarayan Rishis or was it for the gopis?
No, it's for Naranarayan Rishi, not for the gopis.
So then I completely agree with what Shreyan said first.
Okay. So what is the chief message then? The message that he's carrying is that he's carrying the message about the annihilation of Krishna and the Yadus. The disappearance of Krishna and the Yadus. Is that the message?
Yep. Yeah.
Very good. Yes, that is correct. So he's carrying the mystery of the annihilation of the Yadus and Krishna. So why do you think it is a mystery? Next question. I mean, okay, yeah.
Technically, it wasn't a mystery because we all know that the Yadus got cursed because of all that story about the, like the first story we heard. But so technically, it's not a mystery.
Mm-hmm. So do you think this destruction of the Yadus and the disappearance of Krishna is something like, like especially the story of Krishna disappearing, right? So a hunter came, he shot an arrow. So, anyone who's shot by an arrow is obviously going to die. So is it going to be something similar to what happens in the world in a common sense, like, whatever happens? Or,
in Greek mythology, I heard something at school. In Greek mythology, I heard something like this. Well, I forgot their names, but one like demigod or something. He so his mother is like a celestial, like really celestial being, and they have a river where wherever it touches, you're immortal. So he held the baby over the river and made the whole body immortal except the leg, because the leg she had to hold it. Then when he got older, he made like some enemies on the opposite side, and he got killed because one like this guy, he's a really bad archer, but the god of archery helped him to kill because he also doesn't like, so he killed on the foot. So when you said that, it reminded me of that, how Krishna also he got killed on the he disappeared because he got shot on the foot.
Yeah. So yes, people talk about it. They make this. I mean, thanks for bringing up that point, because this has been brought up not only by people in books that you have read, or Greek mythology books and all that, but even so-called gurus of this world. I mean, like you might find such lectures, motivational speeches, and lectures by modern new age gurus telling that, oh, Krishna also died in the same manner, right? So Krishna is also, he was, the rest of his body was immortal, but then just his leg was not immortal. So Hajara knew it and he struck, because they compare the story with Greek mythology. Thank you so much for bringing that up, because that is going to be the next part of our discussion.
But Mataji, Jala thought it was Krishna's foot was a deer, right? So he didn't do it on purpose.
He didn't do it on purpose. Very good.
Because you said that Jala knew that his foot was.
No, we are going to actually spin this now. So my question to everyone is, do you think, these stories, the Greek mythology story and what really happened to Krishna, you can put them on the same level? So is Krishna's body in such a way that only, a portion of it is the rest of it is immortal, and only his leg is mortal, and you can actually kill Krishna, like what happened to the person in the Greek mythology? So what do you think? You think Krishna dies?
No, Krishna disappears. His all the pastimes, he only decides what happened. So Krishna disappears on purpose.
Krishna
disappears. Because in the Mahabharat also, there was so many instances where Krishna could have disappeared with all those arrows and everything. And even when he lift up the wheel, the chariot wheel, just like in the Abhimanyu story, you know how when he lifted it up, he was getting shot from all sides. Krishna also could have got shot like that, but Krishna decided not to get shot. And in this pastime, he only got shot by the leg, and he disappeared. So Krishna all gets to decide.
Krishna decides. Yes, very good, excellent. Anyone else? You
tell something.
Yes, go ahead.
It's not about this, but the last question you asked, I have a really good answer. So actually, it didn't even touch his feet. You know
go ahead. Yes, I want to hear this. Good.
Mataji, so actually, you know that shining like effulgence from Krishna, the arrow just almost touched the light, and then it stopped there. It didn't touch Krishna's feet because Krishna was too strong for the arrow to handle. So Krishna disappeared on his own. The arrow didn't.
Very good. So the arrow technically didn't even pierce through his body. It just touched and it fell down. It was only the pretext. Very good. Excellent. Good reading of books. Very good. That is the exact answer. Very good. More answers. I want more analysis. Anyone else?
What I said was wrong, where like Krishna didn't disappear on his own.
No, what you said is correct. Krishna disappeared on his own. No, you are right. So I just want you all to brainstorm and understand what happened. So Shri, your point is perfectly right. Krishna disappeared on his own will. Actually, that is the title of the slide. So whatever you said is perfectly right. Okay. And what Shriyan said is also right. Actually, that arrow just touched the feet of Krishna and fell down. It didn't even pierce through Krishna. Okay. So there is no question of Krishna dying because of loss of blood or because something went into his body. Okay. So both are correct. And it's Krishna's will. It's Krishna's will that this is the passion of his disappearance. So what both of you said is right. Any more insights into the story?
Mataji, for this, like how remember how I brought up the Greek mythology thing?
Hmm.
This is my opinion, but I don't know if people will agree with me. But um, wait, can you guys, after I say this, can you guys raise your hands for everyone who agreed with me? Because I actually want to see how many people agreed to this. So, like, can you
Okay.
lower your hands right now?
I don't know how to do that. Okay, I
Okay,
think
they got lowered.
That's a
Okay,
check.
awesome. Thanks, Vinita.
so in my opinion, I have a feeling where like all those mythologies, like Greek mythology, Indian mythology, well, Indian mythology is this, but like Greek mythology, all of that stuff, it's actually true because examples like in Thailand, there's Ramakan and things like that. So it's like a lot of things. There are different religions, like they have different rules, like they can eat meat and stuff like that. But a lot of the stories, like since I'm in seventh grade, I have history class for sixth already. So in sixth, I learned about Greek mythology, and that's why I know about this. And seventh, we're also learning about the Muslims and all that stuff. So like all those stories, they have for some reason it's sometimes at the end of the class sometimes brings me back to Krishna because all those stories somehow tie up to it. So I feel like they all the religions and everything, they're like Krishna stories only, but they interpret different and people in the scriptures and stuff like that, they see it, look at it differently.
I raised my hand. Yes, I agree. I agree. I agree. There is a lot of commonalities, and a lot of it is inspired from the Vedic tradition. 100% agree. Good job.
Mataji, I want to say something. I have a sixth grade friend, so he learnt about Greek mythology and he told me this story. It's really related to this. So one time, um, there is this kid who really like playing outside. So one time he was playing outside, and then there's a lake nearby. It's a normal lake, and then he wanted to just splash in it, so he went in there, but he didn't know that there was a deadly crocodile in there. But if the crocodile somehow, if you're alive, and when the crocodile like gets you, you'll be immortal and you can get out. So but the first part it touches you, you will not, the other parts you will. So immediately and the crocodile, the first part it touched was the head, and like the neck, or I mean the heart, not the head, actually the heart. And as soon as he did that, the boy exploded. So this is my realization when I heard that. My realization is that Krishna, when he was shot on the leg and he had disappeared, he actually was not even shot on the leg. It just so it's nothing called death for Krishna. Like for him, he's immortal. Actually, immortality is nothing but just living for one day of Brahma. It's not living forever. Krishna, before we can think or before we can never think, I always had this question. With time, he's a person. Like if time also immortal with Krishna, because there needs to be time. I never understood that Krishna is immortal and everything else is not. So
Nice. Good analysis. Yes.
Shriyam, the story you told me, it kind of reminded me of Rahu and Ketu because you said like the crocodile touched the boy and it exploded, but it touched like if it bites, like you get immortal. So immortality, it reminded me of Rahu Ketu because they drank the potion, the nectar, but Krishna still chopped off the body, even though it like before it went throughout the whole body. So technically, it's kind of like that, except it's like when the body got cut off, it got exploded like that.
basically, it's head. Basically, Krishna is the god of immortality.
Yes. Yes. Correct. Nice. So Krishna, he descends by his own will, right? His appearance and disappearance is by his own will. Whereas we take birth as a result of our karma and desires. If Krishna decides, I want to disappear this way, he will disappear that way. And as you all said, actually, it was nothing actually happened there. It was just that the hunter shot an arrow, the arrow didn't even pierce through. It was just on the pretext of the arrow, Krishna decided to leave. So imagine, someone just, you have a thorn prick on your leg. Will you die out of it? Nothing will happen to you. But here Krishna, his body is transcendental. Okay. So something that is transcendental, how can something material affect that? It is not possible. So just like how Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, oh, the soul is immortal. It cannot be wet. It cannot be hit by weapons. It cannot be, drenched in the rain. So many qualities are there for the soul, right? You all remember Bhagavad Gita. Now here, Krishna, there is no distinction between the body and soul. Krishna is Sachidananda Vigraha. For us, we have soul, we are the soul and we have a body. So there is a difference. For Krishna, his body is transcendental, meaning soul, body, everything is the same. So where is the question of something material affecting that transcendental Vigraha and he getting affected? So that is something we should think. Actually, this whole thing was just a pastime. Nothing happened to Krishna. That arrow just touched him, but Krishna decided to leave in that manner, and his body is always transcendental. There is no distinction between body and soul for Krishna. And remember this fact, okay? Krishna never casts a body out, okay? So anytime you read in scripture, you will never find a place, okay, where they say, okay, his body was burnt later, like that, because he doesn't cast a body. He himself ascends. You read Bhagavatam, it says he took his four-armed form and he ascends along with his chariot. That is transcendental. Okay. So we all cast a body. Krishna's body is complete Sachidananda Vigraha. He just ascends in his self.
And something, Matari. So I wanted to tell that so like Krishna, another detail is that when Krishna took his four-armed form and they grew out, and then when he was going, Uddhava asked that I used to learn this question, like when will like if you go away, all dharma here will not exist, and so like there will be no dharma. And then he said in Kali Yuga there will be no dharma, but then Krishna said Bhagavatam will rise. So then when Uddhava heard that, he was stunned because he already knew there was something called Bhagavatam already there, because Vasudeva already wrote Bhagavatam, or then how would anybody know this pastime?
Okay, good point, Shreyan. I like that. Nice, very good. Okay, so now let's see a bit of what's happening in the third canto. I'll just finish the slide and then you can say, okay, who wanted to say something? Sorry, I stopped you. Okay.
Hi, Prahalad. I had a question. From the story you told about Uddhava, can you tell me why Uddhava was supposed to, why he had to give a message to someone in Badrikashram?
Why he had to give a message? Because the people there, this Naranarayan Rishi and the sages there, they needed to get the knowledge of Krishna's disappearance, meaning they wanted to know what happened to Krishna's whereabouts. They wanted to know that. So the only person who was capable of carrying this transcendental message, because it's a mystery, meaning it's not like an ordinary death. Okay, it has to be understood that Krishna was the transcendental supreme Lord who had come here and he was withdrawing his pastimes. So this whole Maushala Leela, that is the last part of Krishna's, Yadu dynasty destruction and Krishna's disappearance, it is called as Maushala Leela. So this is all very mysterious. It's not clear, meaning a common man, when he sees that, he will think, oh, drunken people are fighting and they're killing each other. Someone came and shot an arrow at Krishna. Krishna died. So people will misinterpret things like that, right? But the right understanding of the disappearance of Krishna should be conveyed to whom? It had to be carried by Uddhava, and the message had to be conveyed to the sages and Naranarayan Rishi in Badrikashram, who can then disseminate the right knowledge later. So that was the plan set by the Lord. Okay. And this is described in this chapter towards the last 3 verses. If you read the purports, Prabhupada's purports, he tells us all these secrets, what he had to do, what is the message he had to carry, and what he had to tell the people in Badrikashram.
Mataji, my mom has some questions. Could you answer?
Yes, I will try.
Mataji, I have a question. Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam. So I was thinking, Narnar and Rishi also we understand them as Arjuna and Krishna, and the story goes like this. So they were existing in two forms. Here Krishna is already there and Narnar and Rishi is already there present. So that was one question, and the another question is in Jagannath Puri the Navakalevar pastime where after every 12 years the Brahma Padartha is transferred from the old deity to the new deity of Jagannath. So it is they think that it is the heart of Krishna when he left this material world. Both I wanted to know what do you think about it?
Yeah, I know there are some Jagannath pastimes like I know the heart of Krishna, what is that? The belly button, right? What is that? The navel of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu grew into a tree. The heart is preserved. Honestly, Mataji, if you read Bhagavatam or any other scripture, nowhere the Lord can cast a body. Okay, but for pastime's sake, you can consider it to be an understanding that this is Krishna's heart. Okay, that is all. But really, Krishna doesn't cast a body. So his body is always transcendental. Even in the pastime of the wives going in search of Krishna, you will see that they were not able to find anything. They don't find anything. So it's these are all metaphorical to understand that it is the heart of Krishna. So I wouldn't, give too much emphasis to it, but the Lord's body is always transcendental.
And also the Krishna existed as Krishna. Also he also existed as Naranarayan also.
Yeah, so there are overlaps of different incarnations. Krishna's Purnavatara. So he's the complete whole, like all the incarnations are present in Krishna. Again, in the same purport, Prabhupada explains this point that everything is present in Krishna. All the different forms of Krishna is present in the two-handed form of Krishna. So he's the complete whole. But there is possibility of either empowered incarnations or even amshas of Krishna to be present separately. Okay, but there are also in different scriptures, it also says that Naranara and Rishi were again, they incarnated as Krishna and Arjun. So an amsha of Naranara and Rishi is also present in Krishna. So it's like that. Again, I can say the last three verses, Mataji, 28.
Yeah, the story of Karna, we know that, right? How he got that. So the Sahasra Kavacha, that one Kavach was left, and then he became Karna, like that we hear, right? So it looks like first the chronological order that is not very clear, it seems, or maybe Narayana Rishi existed long, even before.
They've been existing since Dharma and Murti. They are the parents. They are there since Swayambhu Manvat, very long.
Satyuga.
Wait, so you can actually go there and see them?
Yeah, if you have the divine eyes. Yeah. So Naranara and Rishi have been present since Swayambhu Manvantara. Dharma and Murti's, children, right? They are Naranara. So for several ages they are present. They are present for only
Mataji, what is Brahma Padartha?
Brahma Padartha is a Brahma's life. Vidya Padartha means the second half of Brahma's life. A Padartha.
Is a thing.
So the second half is called as Vidya Padartha. That is what you're asking.
So that is considered to be the heart of Krishna?
The heart of Krishna? I don't know. I know there are stories for describing the Jagannath pastime, but we take that the Lord's body is always transcendental. Okay?
Could I say something?
Yeah.
We're remembering Krishna too much. We need to remember Radharani also. We should also learn that Radharani had almost disappeared like 2 times. The first time from separation from Krishna when he left Vrindavan, and the second time when she actually like disappeared from this world.
Correct. Second time when she disappeared from this.
Mataji, Suraj was asking how Balram disappeared.
Oh, he did this in a yogic process. He disappeared. He sat down in a yogic posture and he decided to give up his body. I mean, not body really. He just disappeared. Meaning, there's a yogic method for doing it. Again, Bhagavatam describes that.
Which canto, Mataji, it is there?
Talk about their exact disappearance pastimes, like what exactly happened. How Baladev disappears and then Krishna, and also Krishna disappears. Both is 11th.
Thank you, Mataji.
You can read. Okay. So now, we are running out of time. So I just wanted to clarify the third canto, understanding for all of you. So why so many characters, Vidura and Uddhava and Maitreya and all of them? So the story is that Shaunaka Rishi, all the sages in Naimisharanya, they were asking Suta Goswami to tell the story of Vidura after he left Hastinapur. What happened to him? So that is when the journey of Vidura was discussed, and they started, Suta Goswami started telling, after Vidura started his journey, he came across Uddhava. So this is the conversation between Uddhava and Vidura. So that's when the story of Uddhava comes, and then the story of Krishna departing is also discussed. And after this, as Uddhava proceeds towards Badrikashram, again, he's been told, Vidura meets him, Vidura meets him, and Vidura meets Maitreya and learns from Maitreya about transcendental science, which he wants to actually ask Uddhava. Okay, so these are the different characters in the third canto. So you'll find all of them coming over and over, and this is like the timeline of what was happening. Okay, you have time for Sanskrit? We don't have time, but I'm just going to quickly share the screen to see if we can just revise for 1 or 2 minutes, and then we can close the call. Okay. Meanwhile, anything else? Anyone?
Did this class end at 5:15 or 14?
5:15. We have another minute, buddy. Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you,
Mataji, we only have 30 seconds left.
Mataji, could tell something about Krishna. So actually, in his entire life, there's only one instance where Krishna and where Krishna and Yashodamai are reunited. Actually, no, yeah, reunited after he leaves the.
Can you tell me after which pastime?
So I don't. This is not in Bhagavatam.
It's there in the purport. You tell me. You tell me.
So it's basically like when once Krishna was like they were traveling to a place. So not to a place. Basically, they were going for a war, and then suddenly they lost the route, and then they thought they were lost, and then Krishna, as he wanted to go to Vrindavan, he just because the war was near Vrindavan, he just took a small route and went to Vrindavan and divided.
Exactly. So whom was he fighting against? Which demon?
Like, it's not like a demon. It's basically like an army. I don't remember which army it is. So basically, he took this guy, and then he went to Mother Yashoda and was acting like someone else. But then when one time, I thought he was a newcomer, but he was not, because he took out his putak and put it in his pocket. So he disguised. But then one time, all his clothes fell down and everyone saw him as Krishna.
Okay. Okay, but there is a.
I thought Shreyan was talking about I think they were going to Hastinapur was flooding, I think, and then
Kurukshetra, the solar eclipse, Kurukshetra. That was one incident.
Because they went to the river to take a bath, and then they saw the Vrindavan Vasis also, where they also went to the river to take a bath.
The other incident is killing of Dhantavakra. So when you read the commentaries, when Dhantavakra was killed, it was around the Mathura region. So after killing Dhantavakra, Krishna plays a short visit to his parents. Okay. So we'll end here, pays a short visit, sorry. We'll end here. We didn't do any Sanskrit. That's okay. I'll tell Sita Preethi Mataji I didn't finish.
Mataji, I really liked the conversation though.
Yes.
Today.
I
Really
enjoyed
good discussion.
you. My favorite kids, now all of you are. So thank you all so much. We have an adults class, so I'm going to end the call abruptly. Okay.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Bye, Mataji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Bye, kids. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Bye.